2023 marks a pretty important year for the Honda CR-V. Not only does it enter a new generation, but for the first time it is available as a hybrid, at least for us here in Canada. So in this video, I am throwing it into the deep end and comparing it against the Rav4 Hybrid, the benchmark of hybrid compact crossover SUVs. So how does the CR-V stack up? Let's go for a drive and find out. Let's start things off in the CR-V Hybrid, which does not use the 1.5 liter turbo engine that is found in the normal gas-only versions of the CR-V. Instead, it uses a 2 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, which does have help from electric motors. The total output is 204 horsepower. The Rav4 Hybrid, on the other hand, uses a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, and it produces 219 horsepower. Now, does that mean that the Rav4 Hybrid is faster than the CR-V Hybrid? Well, I haven't been able to find any official numbers from the two manufacturers, but Edmunds did test both of the cars and they found that the Rav4 Hybrid accelerated from 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds, and it took the CR-V to accelerate from 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. So not that big of a difference. Now, in cars like these, 0 to 60 times don't really matter. You're not going to impress any Lambo or Ferrari owner with your full throttle acceleration. But between the two, they both feel pretty similar. They both get this nice surge in acceleration as the electric motors provide their instant torque before the gasoline engines get into their sweet spot and provide the bulk of the power. You won't feel any of that push to the back of the seat feeling because they're just not that powerful, but you do notice that the speed does build up. You can put both of these cars into sport mode and you do feel a little bit more of that punchy acceleration from the electric motors, but again, they're not Type R or GR type of SUVs. It's fuel economy that is the primary focus of these two SUVs, and between them, it's this Rav4 that gets better fuel efficiency. It's rated at 5.8 liters per 100 kilometers in a city and 6.3 liters per 100 kilometers on a highway. The Honda CR-V Hybrid is rated for 6 liters per 100 kilometers in a city and 6.9 liters per 100 kilometers on a highway. In the real world, that is exactly what I have been noticing. This Rav4 Hybrid is more fuel efficient every time that I drive it over the CR-V Hybrid. Both of these SUVs operate similarly when it comes to using the electric motors. They both use a combination of the electric motors and the gas engine when accelerating from a stop, and then once you reach a set speed, or a constant speed I should say, they'll try to stay mostly on just electricity. They both also have regen braking, and it's controlled primarily through the brake pedal. However, in the Honda CR-V, you can put the transmission into B and then have a stronger regen braking mode, but the gas engine will turn on and stay on. However, if you notice, it does have paddle shifters. So you can actually control the amount of regen braking through those paddle shifters. However, the regen braking always resets every time that you accelerate again, or when you put your foot on the throttle pedal. In this Rav4, all you have is the S mode on the transmission, so you can shift it into a lower gear, or lower virtual gear I should say, and you'll get more regen braking, but again, the engine does stay on and it's not quite the same as just using the paddles in the CR-V Hybrid. However, there is one thing that this Rav4 Hybrid has that the CR-V Hybrid doesn't have, and that is an EV only mode. It allows you to accelerate a little bit more quickly just using electricity. However, this mode only works up to about 40 kilometers an hour. After that, the gasoline engine turns on. But with an almost fully charged battery, you can actually accelerate from 0 to about 60-ish kilometers an hour in this RAV4 and in the CR-V Hybrid just on electricity. However, this will be a slow and very gradual acceleration, and you're going to have a lot of tailgaters behind you. Both of these SUVs use CVT automatics, and for the most part they do their jobs as they were designed to. In everyday city driving, they just hold the RPMs to whatever they're needed to be at when you accelerate, and then quickly drop them back down to lower RPMs for better fuel economy, or let the electric motor take over. Both of these transmissions have virtual gears. However, in this CR-V, you can't really control them. The computer controls when to shift virtually. In the RAV4, you can put the gear selector into S, and then you can fool around with the virtual gears yourself. Both crossover SUVs are easy to drive in a busy city. They're also easy to drive on highways without tiring you. But if you're looking for a more spirited drive, neither will provide you with that. The Mazda CX-5 or CX-50 are your best bets. When pushed, these crossovers will understeer into a corner and have torque steer when exiting a corner, though this is more evident in the RAV4 than in the CR-V. Both SUVs are equipped with all-wheel drive, but in the RAV4 Hybrid, this is achieved through the rear electric motor. In the Honda, it is a more traditional layout with a drive shaft sending power to the back wheels. In the United States, the CR-V Hybrid is also available as a front-wheel drive variant. Between these two SUVs, the ride of the Honda CR-V is just a little bit more supple than the ride of the Toyota Rav4. As you drive over bumps, they feel a bit more isolated in this CR-V than they do in the Rav4. You don't feel them quite as harshly in the CR-V. Additionally, the transition from the electric motor to the gas engine is absolutely seamless in this Honda CR-V. You cannot feel it even if you pay really close attention for it. In the RAV4, it is also pretty seamless and smooth, but there are instances where you can actually feel that jolt of the engine turning on if you pay close attention. But again, in this CR-V, it is absolutely seamless. It's about as good as the luxury vehicles. However, there is one sound that intrudes into the cabin of this Honda CR-V. At higher speeds, you do hear a little bit more wind noise right around here, around the window. The wind isn't actually coming into the cabin, but you do really notice it. In the RAV4, wind noise isn't really that evident, but engine and tire noise is more so than in this CR-V. On paper, the Toyota Rav4 Hybrid has more headroom across both rows of seats than the Honda CR-V Hybrid. But this difference is not that drastic, and I found that I had plenty of headroom in the front and back seats of both crossovers. It's the legroom that is noticeably different, particularly in the back seats. There's almost an inch more leg space behind my tall 6'4" driving position in the CR-V over the RAV4. Additionally, getting into the back of the CR-V is easier thanks to the nearly 90-degree opening doors. In the front seats, both provide an adequate amount of leg space. The difference in space continues into the trunks, but just like the rear seat headroom, it's not that drastic of a difference. The 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid has 1,028 liters of space behind the second row, while the 2023 Toyota Rav4 Hybrid has 1,062 liters of space. With the rear seats folded, the CR-V's cargo capacity increases to 2,030 liters, while the Rav4 space increases to 1,976 liters. When it comes to pricing, I realize that the two demo vehicles that I have here are not exactly comparable. This CR-V Hybrid is the Touring trim and it'll cost you $49,000. This RAV4 is the XLE trim with the Woodland package and it'll cost you $40,000. Here in Canada, the CR-V is only available on this top spec Touring trim, whereas the Rav4 Hybrid is available in many more trim levels. So it can start from as low as $35,000 and can go up to about $46,000. These are the MSRPs in Canadian currency and without any fees and taxes. If you're watching this video in the United States, then you guys and gals have one more option for the CR-V. The Sport is also available with the hybrid powertrain, and it's about $7,000 or $8,000 American, less expensive than the Touring trim. Obviously, between these two, the CR-V has more features on it. These include leather-trimmed seats and steering wheel, heated seats in all four corners and a heated steering wheel, a power sunroof, power programmable liftgate, a 9-inch touchscreen with built-in navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity, wireless phone charging pad, dual-zone automatic climate control, and power front seats with driver memory. The Rav4 Woodland only has some of the same features. These include heated front seats and heated steering wheel, power sunroof, power liftgate, dual-zone automatic climate control, an 8-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, and power driver seat but without memory. If you opt for the limited trim of the Rav4 Hybrid, it will be equipped with more gadgets. Some of these include a larger 10.5-inch touchscreen, wireless phone charging pad, heated rear seats, ventilated front seats, and surround view cameras. So the Rav4 Limited is better value than the CR-V Touring if you only look at the gadgets, but there's a bit more to it than that. The interiors in both vehicles feel well put together. However, once you start touching the different controls and materials, you start to notice why the CR-V is more expensive. The buttons and knobs feel premium, almost like they're out of an Acura model. The buttons and knobs don't feel like they're out of a Lexus in the Rav4. They feel like they're out of a Rav4 from a few years ago. But at least in both of these cars, the controls are physical and not all embedded into a giant touchscreen like some other manufacturers. The Woodland trim of the Rav4 Hybrid adds 18-inch bronze alloy wheels, TRD-tuned off-road suspension, and Woodland all-season floor mats and cargo tray. It gives the Rav4 a bit of a rugged look, but the standard Rav4 already looks pretty rugged in my eyes. Both vehicles are also well equipped with safety and driver aids that come as standard. Automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning and keep, blind spot sensors with rear cross traffic alert, adaptive cruise control, and so on. The differences are with the IIHS crash tests. The 2023 Toyota Rav4 received a top safety pick, while the 2023 Honda CR-V received a top safety pick plus. The Rav4 only received acceptable marks for an updated front moderate overlap and an updated side impact test. So, back to the original question that I asked at the very start of the video. How does the CR-V Hybrid compare against the Rav4 Hybrid? Well, in many areas, quite well. The hybrid powertrain is really smooth, the cabin is very spacious and quiet, and I also like quite a few more of the controls in this CR-V than I do in the Rav4. Plus, it's pretty fuel efficient. However, the Rav4 is more fuel efficient and the hybrid powertrain is available on more trim levels and it is less expensive. So if you are on a bit of a tight budget but you still want a very fuel efficient crossover, compact crossover SUV, then the Toyota Rav4 is your best bet. However, if you do have the budget for something as expensive as this, then I would recommend this one over the Rav4 Hybrid Limited. If you'd like to know more about either of these two SUVs, I wrote a more detailed comparison review of them over on my website. You can find that link in the video description or click on the pop-up banner. We're up there. And as always, I will see you in the next car or truck or most likely another SUV. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time.